All right, listeners, welcome back for another deep dive with us. Today we're going to be looking at what it takes to adapt and thrive in a totally new environment.
Totally new environment, yeah.
We've got this fascinating source material that follows the story of a young woman moving from a small village to a much bigger town.
Yeah.
And, maybe some of you listening have experienced something similar yourselves, right?
For sure.
Like starting a new job, going off to college, or even just picking up a new hobby or something.
Right, right. I mean, there's always that mix of excitement and apprehension when you step into something totally new. It's like a universal thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thinking about our source material, before we kind of dive into the specifics of her journey, what struck me was the description of her village. It's like this place where time moves a bit slower, where everyone knows everyone, and support is just a natural part of life.
It's a good point. Yeah, that strong sense of community, it's almost like it sets the stage for how big a shift it is when she moves to the town. I mean, imagine leaving a place where, life's measured by the rhythms of nature, and suddenly you're in a world of schedules and deadlines.
Yeah, it's like switching gears, right?
Totally.
And, that kind of leads us to the heart of what the story explores, the social challenges she faces in the town. It's not just about finding a job, it's about navigating this whole new set of social rules and expectations.
Yeah, absolutely. Think about it. She's coming from a place where sharing and collective responsibility are deeply ingrained. And bam, she's in an environment where it's all about individual achievement and competition.
Yeah, like a totally different mindset almost.
Right.
So how does she adapt? Because she doesn't give up, right? She keeps pushing forward.
Well, that's where I think her resourcefulness really shines through. There's this great detail in the source material where she notices there aren't any good bakeries in town.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And she grew up helping her grandmother bake. So she starts selling bread made with all these old family recipes.
You know what I find really interesting about that? It's not just that she's got this skill. It's that she sees a need and she fills it.
Exactly, yeah. She's not just relying on what she knows, she's adapting it to this new context.
And I think that's a powerful takeaway for anyone listening, right? How can you take what you're good at and apply it in a new way in a new environment?
Totally.
But there's another side to this too, right? It can't all be about individual effort. There are moments in the story where she feels lost, isolated. It highlights how even the most resilient people need connections, need support.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even if she's got that inner strength, she's still human. Think about it. What about her family back in the village? Even from a distance, they're probably a source of strength for her.
Yeah, like that emotional anchor.
Right. Or maybe she finds new connections through her baking, builds a little community around that.
It makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How can we, all of us, create those kinds of support networks for people who are starting over in new places?
It's a huge question, for sure.
And I think it ties into some of the bigger changes happening in the world today. We're seeing more and more people moving to cities. The nature of work is changing rapidly, and it's more important than ever to be adaptable and resilient.
Absolutely. And this story, this deep dive we're doing, it's not just about one woman's experience. It's like a microcosm of what so many people are going through. It raises those big questions about individual effort, support systems, and how we navigate a world that's constantly changing.
And I think ultimately what I take away from it, and maybe what our listeners can take away too, is this. Even when we feel lost in a new environment, we've got the power to adapt, to learn, and to thrive.
Couldn't have said it better myself. That resilience, it's in all of us. It's pretty inspiring, actually.
It is. And something that this deep dives made me think about is I wonder how technology can play a role in all of this.
Oh, interesting.
Could there be ways to use technology to connect people who are new to a city, help them build those support systems more quickly?
You know what? That's something I'm going to have to think about more. It's a really interesting question.
Yeah, something to ponder. Thanks for joining me for another deep dive. And listeners, as always, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave us a comment or a message. Let's keep the conversation going.
Absolutely. Always love hearing from you all.
Until next time.
See ya.